Hi everyone, my name is Sagina Bajracharya and the topic for my presentation today is going to be early childhood education and care, its policies, outdoor play, projects and advocacy. Today I will discuss two major aspects of early childhood education and care in the modern world which are popularly referred to as ECEC. Initially, I will compare EDEC practices in Australia and Nepal in terms of policies, pedagogies, and the significance of outdoor play in children's development. Secondly, I will describe the project approach, which assists children in learning intensively through research and teamwork. And I will also address the way teachers could represent children and the ECEC profession. Lastly, I will give this presentation a conclusion. The discussion to these themes emphasizes the fact that high quality early learning contributes to the development of children on the whole and preconditions are good foundations for lifelong learning. To begin, I will compare the ECEC between Australia and Nepal. Both Nepal and Australia acknowledge that early childhood is an important learning development stage and they hold varying concepts of ECEC. In the case of Australia, ECEC is directed by national policies and frameworks that have been well established. The most notable one is Early Years Learning Framework (EYLF) that puts the themes of belonging, being, and becoming in the first place. It is focused on play based education, holistic development, as well as child identity, well being, and communication. In Australia, ECEC services are assigned under the National Quality Framework (NQF), which guarantees quality, competent employees, and the security of children. However, in Nepal, the National Early Childhood Development Strategy is the head of ECEC and it focuses on an integrated and multisectoral approach to health, nutrition, protection, and early learning of children aged birth to 8 years old. ECEC offered in the form of school based pre primary classes, community based facilities, and parenting programs offered at home. Although early learning and development standards ELDS and minimum standards of ECED centers in Nepal have been developed, inequitable access, insufficient funding, inadequate training, and quality gaps remain some of the persistent obstacles to successful implementation. Now let's talk about the pedagogical approaches of Australia and Nepal. The Australian pedagogy is based on child-centered and play-based learning, whereby a teacher is facilitative and supportive of inquiry and investigation among the children instead of one who centralizes teaching to the students, which fits the social cultural theory by emphasizing learning as a social interaction and active guidance towards learning. However, conventional pedagogy in Nepal's early childhood centers has also been teacher centered with a focus on elementary literacy, numeracy, and rote learning. However, government guidelines and NGO intervention have promoted child centered and play based pedagogy in recent years. Urban ECED centers are adopting Montessori and activity based learning, but across much of rural Nepal, limited resources, large classes, and traditional expectations still pull back the potential for open ended play and exploration. Outdoor play and child development. Children need outdoor play to build their physical, social, emotional, and cognitive abilities, strength, balance, coordination, along with learning how to take risk and become independent. Outdoor play also develops children's creativity and problem solving skills as they test and interact with the environment. The Early Years Learning Framework in Australia encourages regular outdoor play, including gardening, water play, and nature excursions. Nature pedagogy helps children learn by discovering the environment so they feel attracted to it. Outdoor plays is highly prized in Nepal as essential to children's physical, social, and emotional development, but space, safety, and school pressure limit it, especially in cities. Most rural children play outside and in nature, which improves their physical fitness, social skills, and creativity. Advocates and research increasingly highlight the critical role played by safe, engaging outdoor areas in contributing to integral development among children in Nepal. Now let's move on to the project approach. The project approach is a teaching method that is designed for young children and encourages them to study actual life topics actively and meaningfully. Instead of listening to lectures and doing worksheets, children explore their interests. The project approach consists of three phases, which are beginning, development, and conclusion. This method fosters curiosity, critical thinking, and problem solving as instructors and mentor collaborate with students. The project approach emphasizes problem solving and cooperation above memorization. Children get excited when they ask questions, investigate, and understand what they have learned by themselves through real experience. Benefits of the project approach. Project Approach supports in depth learning by challenging children to learn about ideas over time. It encourages cognitive, social, emotional, and physical development via related experiences. For example, a plants project may integrate science linking to plant growth, literacy linking to writing about observations, art linking to drawing plants, and math linking to measuring development. This combined learning helps children see connections between ideas, improving their understanding and memory. It also encourages collaboration as children plan and negotiate with each other, which encourages teamwork. Since children control their learning, this method encourages creativity, independence, and problem solving. And teachers also benefit as they receive more thorough information regarding children's stages of development from observation and documentation. Next one is the application of project approach in Australia and Nepal. The project approach in Australia is used to complement the early years learning framework by closing the gap between play and purposeful teaching using real projects such as learning about the wildlife in their environment. Traditionally, education in Nepal is teacher centered and focused on formal education and memorization. In recent years, the number of play based, activity based, and project based learning methods is also increasing in many ECED centers and schools, and they contribute to improving the innovativeness, collaboration, critical thinking, and motivation of the children to learn. These child centered pedagogies are being propagated by the state and non governmental organizations, but there is a problem of long term implementation, especially in the rural regions of Nepal. Advocacy in early childhood. Teachers play an important role by raising awareness of the importance of quality early education and its lifelong benefits. They develop strong, trusting partnerships with families to reach out to the children's rights, needs, and voices. Teachers also engage policymakers by sharing their real experiences and data to make decisions on funding, standards, and policies. They teach inclusive practices in classroom and work with communities to promote advocacy. This improved the value and professionalism of early childhood education by not only supporting children's development but also enhancing the quality and skill level of early childhood education. So, in conclusion, I would like to highlight how important early childhood education and care is to all children. One, they set the foundation for future growth and learning. Both Australia and Nepal are active in improving ECEC, with Australia receiving strong national resources and Nepal striving to ensure every child has access to all the things they are necessary to succeed. A tool for play based learning, such as the project approach and playing outdoors, involves creativity, teamwork, and problem solving. Teachers are a major component of protecting children's rights and advocating for quality early learning experiences. Together, all these efforts help the entire child to have a brighter future. So finally, these are all the references that I have used to do the research on this presentation. Thank you.